Welcome to the TopRank Marketing News Roundup. I'm Tiffani Allen.
And I'm Josh Nite. Hey, I missed you last week, Tiffani.
Hey, I was missing.
I missed you so much that I sat alone in a room and talked to myself for 5 straight minutes.
You know you were recording that.
I was?
Yeah.
That is even better.
It's all over the internet.
We're definitely recording this one, though, as far as I can. Yes. So, that means I can tell you that our first story today is there's one thing, and one thing only, that people do not want to see more of in their social media news feeds. And that is, wait for it, news. Yeah, they're tired of it. A full third of the people in this recent survey said that they wanted to see less news in their news feeds. 52% did not say that they wanted to see more news. They said they don't care. It's like, I push a button, thing turns on, I look at thing, it's fine.
Things okay.
Yeah. 18% of lunatics want more news in their news feeds, it turns out.
Oh.
The weird thing is, even though they want to see less news, people are posting comments on political posts with regularity. 36% are commenting on political posts, which is more than food posts, more than vacation photo posts, only less than humor posts. And political posts and humor posts are getting increasingly hard to tell apart, so maybe there was a little margin of error there. Now, the other weird thing about this survey, though, is they looked at where people were leaving comments on news articles, and there's this really sharp switch. So they have like 66% of people between the ages of 18 and 19 are commenting directly on the social media network using, fewer vowels and more little tiny pictures.
Emojis.
Yes, it's pronounced emoji, though it's a French word. Very few people know that.
No, I
So
know.
yes, they use the emoji. Now you know. Knowing is half the battle, maybe. But 66% of people who are 60 or older prefer posting directly on the publisher's website or sending them an angry letter by carrier pigeon.
Oh, yes.
So if you look at the graph, there's like the little line of posting on one spot and posting on the other spot, and right in the middle, around age 43, this switch happens. So if you're 42 and you're posting on the social websites like a hip young kid, you're going to wake up on your 43rd birthday and you're going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to type a letter and send it to them via carrier pigeon.
CNN needs to hear my thoughts.
Will happen to you.
Oh, no, it will. Not for a very long time.
Millennial.
That's me. Our next story, Snapchat's ad revenues are slated to reach nearly $1 billion next year, which is still only 2% of U.S. social ad dollars, but it's still quite a big leap for them. Their revenue this year is supposed to be about $366 million. So that's an exponential growth for their revenue. Most of that currently is being driven by the Discover stories, but it's slated to be just stories that are attracting all of that ad revenue next year. So that'll be an interesting thing to see, especially if Snapchat is part of your social media strategy, thinking about investing in that platform, considering many others are planning to do the same, might not be a bad plan.
Billion. Holy cow.
It's a lot of money.
Snapchat, I am going to have to keep trying to understand you because you keep being more and more of a going concern in the marketing world.
Just ask Layla.
Yeah. I have to get on the phone with Jason Miller from LinkedIn Marketing. He did this whole thing about Snapchat, and he understands it, and he is, I understand, slightly older than I am. So, Jason, keep an eye on your phone. I'll send you a carrier pigeon. Our next story is, speaking of things that are frightening and come from the future, Google is going to put machine learning analytics at your fingertips if you're a marketer.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah, right there at your fingertips. You're going to be able to, on your mobile device, access your Google Analytics account, which you can do now. But what you can do is run these reports that would take hours to run, and they'll be ready in minutes.
Minutes?
Perhaps even seconds.
It's exciting.
Yes. And the way that they're doing this is it's going to learn what you are more likely to pull. So if you have a 3:30 meeting with a client every Friday and you pull a certain report at 3 o'clock, it's going to go, you know what? I feel like I'm just going to have that ready for a guy,
So nice.
The article that I read this in said, is this really learning? Really what it's doing is just anticipating repeat behavior. Is that sophisticated learning, the writer said, and I assume adjusted his monocle. I feel like it is.
I think so.
I feel like if at every time we record, say, the show, I want a Diet Coke, and you start bringing me a Diet Coke every time we record, I think that's learning. I think you've learned something, and I think you're a better person for it.
I think he's gunning for Diet Coke.
Diet Coke, we are open for sponsorships.
Once
Delicious,
again.
refreshing Diet Coke. We are available for sponsorships.
Just to clarify, not being paid for that. Our last story is some new research from CMO Council that says that advertisers are currently spending 11%, almost 12% of their annual budget on social media advertising.
I'm surprised it's that low.
Yeah, I was too. But that's of their total budgets, which is up from 7% in August of 2011,
Okay.
which is quite a big leap for just a few years. And then in 5 years, they're predicting to be spending about 22% of their budget on social, which I feel is pretty low considering how much social media is evolving to be this pay-to-play platform, especially with all the newsfeed algorithm changes that we've seen, more advertising opportunities on networks like Snapchat and Instagram and things like that. I think that might be a low estimate, but it's entirely possible that I am wrong because it has happened before.
Yeah, more channels, more stuff, more need to get to your audience with, I don't know, does that include then paying to promote something to your audience on Facebook, like paying for organic reach versus, okay, so anytime you give one of these guys money, that's part of the budget. Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, all right. I want to know what the CMOs are spending the rest of their money on.
I do too. I hope it's Diet Coke.
I hope it's carrier pigeons.
That's all the news that we have for you this week. We'll be back next week with more news from the online marketing world. If you're craving it now, you can find some more news on the TopRank blog, toprankblog.com, or follow TopRank on Twitter @TopRank.
Yep, and you can follow me on Twitter @NiteWrites, NITE Writes.
Or me @Tiffani_Allen. We'll be back next week with more stories. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.
Bye.